right, good afternoon, Mr. and Mrs. Paisley. I wanted to obviously stop by the house and give you guys a quick update on the house. I know it's been a couple weeks, so we got some stuff to show you out here. Obviously, I'm sure you guys have been by the home site and seen what we got going on. I know I spoke to Mr. Paisley earlier today about some other items in the house, but as you guys can see outside, we have got the siding complete. And of course, we still got to paint the house. This is just the raw look of that hardy material here. So don't worry about that. We'll get the house painted for you. It's going to look great here pretty soon once we get into the rough paint portion of the build. But let's get inside and talk about what we got going on here. So let's stop here in the, I guess, formal dining room, whatever you guys decide to use this for, office space. We have trim installed. So trim's looking pretty good in here. Got really no issues with this portion of the house. As you can see, laying right next to the outlets here, good for us based on our discussion earlier. I've got some electricians here. They're actually doing what we call plug and switch. So they're coming around, installing all the receptacles, all the switches, and all that fun stuff. So that actually gave me the opportunity to speak to the electrician about the outlet that we needed to move over there in that closet. So we should be able to get that done today, which is great news. So looking at the butler's pantry here as we walk into the kitchen. All the walls are sanded too, so essentially what that tells us is we're getting ready for that rough paint process. Usually about this time I like to have cabinets installed, but we're seeing some delays from Master Brand right now because of the whole COVID pandemic, but we knew that was gonna happen, so we pretty much planned around our cabinet install. So typically we would have cabinets installed before we go into rough paint. But it actually kind of helps us out. We just don't have to put a bunch of plastic over all your cabinets and stuff as we go into cabinet install. So we're gonna go ahead and get the rough paint done before cabinets go in, which doesn't really hurt us too much. And it definitely doesn't affect us on the back end as far as our install or our construction schedule. Looking pretty good here in the kitchen. Again, this is gonna be the little island space there. Got the canopy hood ready to go there. Typically what I'm looking for with that is, I know I'm gonna have a backsplash here, so I always just like to make sure that that wire is directly centered underneath that direct vent there. So I'm not gonna have to move anything around when I'm trying to install tile, let alone install the canopy hood and have to move a wire or something. So things are looking pretty good here. You'll see with the baseboard, what they do is they just kind of stop short. They kind of guess about where that cabinet's gonna fall. Usually you can take a quick measurement and find really where that cabinet's gonna stop. So they terminated the baseboard right there. So that should work out for us without having to come in and do a bunch of rework. So you got the sunroom here. Again, tons of natural light, looking good. Stuff like this is typically what I'm looking for right here. So we've got a bypass opening right here. We do have the option to do cased openings, but that wasn't an option that was selected. So sheetrockers would need to come in here and actually case out that and install corner bead. So it's a finished bypass opening. That's why you had the baseboard guys leave that little gap there. So it's stuff like that. When I'm coming in doing my trim inspection, that's the type of stuff that I'm looking for, so we can get those guys in here, get that installed, and it's not really gonna delay anything. Excuse me, sir. All right, right now we're standing in that back right little flex room back here. Electricians hard at it. Oh, you're fine, sir. Excuse me, I'm gonna go this way. I'm gonna try to get out of their way so they can continue what they gotta do. Take you guys on upstairs, show you the upstairs. Again, we got all those doors installed. Some of the comments I get sometimes, you walk through the house with the doors installed, you know, you try to operate your doors at this point in time. Sometimes you might have some issues with the doors right after they're installed, but we go through and do all the adjustments and stuff that we need to when we actually install the hardware and stuff on the doors. So you might see a few doors that require some adjustments. You got this front right bedroom up here, tons of natural light. Of course, the walk-in closet's always a nice feature. guest bath here. Again, always a really good idea with that recessed can up there. You know, you come in, turn the lights on, you're gonna have your vanity light here. Really good, but it's always really, really nice to have that additional light feature over there. Of course, you got laundry room here. Try to get in there. Once we get in the bathroom, I'll have them turn that music down. This is probably, again, one of my favorite rooms right here. You know, if you remember from that build quality orientation that we did, you know, the house has kind of changed personalities. We got the sheetrock in, but it really gives you a good idea of just the amount of space that we have here in the master bedroom when that sitting room is included. I mean, this is an incredibly large space for the master bedroom. And of course, the sitting room is always a nice additional touch. Hey, señor. Bájala la música, por favor. All right. We'll let him turn that back on here in a second. Let's get you guys into the master shower, talk about what we got going on in here. So one of the things at this point in time that I always like to discuss with my homeowners is their master shower, or any shower that they have tile going in, right? So what you guys see here is what we call the Kerdi membrane. All that orange stuff that you see right here. This is what the tile sits on top of. And behind that, you guys have moisture-resistant sheetrock. So it obviously looks a little bit different than the rest of the sheetrock that you guys see in here. So the whole point of this is to make sure that, you know, when you're taking showers, the grout is an unsealed grout. I always recommend after closing, you know, come in, anywhere that you guys have any grout, it's always good to seal it. Just to protect the walls behind the tile so you don't get any moisture back there. It's not going to be the end of the world if it does. Obviously, this is going to help protect the walls and any of the framing behind the walls from getting damaged from water. But it's always just a good, quick little tip just to seal the grout when you guys move in and you're looking for stuff to do. But the whole point of this is, again, you know, you're taking a shower. If there's any water that happens to get through the grout lines, it has somewhere to go. So all this Kerdi membrane right here is installed from the bottom up, so it's got kind of this shingle style effect to it. So, you know, let's say, you know, water starts at the top, it's not gonna be impacted or impeded by anything as it moves its way down back to the shower pan. So a couple highlights that I like to bring up is these little guys right here on the left and right corners of your shower there. What we call those are weep holes. So once that water hits that shower pan, obviously the tape underneath there is going to help us, so it's not going to get back behind the Kerdi there. I'm just going to follow that little membrane all the way down, and it's going to hit that weep hole and then enter right back into your shower pan. So that's exactly what we want. So good stuff there. Sorry about the noise there, but again with the weep holes, so really what I'm looking for, once the tile gets installed, I want to make sure that they don't have any grout or silicone in those. I want to keep those free and clear to make sure that the water can actually escape from those two little areas in the shower. The reason I like to bring that up is I get a lot of questions about that at the closing time frame. A lot of people like to, you know, try to tell me that the tile is broke or chipped, X, Y, and Z, but I promise you they're there on purpose, and we want to make sure that those are free and clear of any debris after the tile is installed. So just a quick little PSA there. All right, but that's kind of a quick little walk through the house. You know, as always, if you guys have any questions, feel free to reach out to me. We're still looking good on the construction schedule. Really no delays at this point in time. You know, as always, if you guys have questions, call, text, shoot me an email, and I'll do my best to get back to you as soon as I can. Other than that, I hope you guys have an excellent weekend, and I will see you on your next update.